I think to a certain extent, hair defines you. I think your choices about what you want to look like and how you want to be perceived by the world is quite important. And I think for a lot of people, hair is a big thing. I certainly see it with my friends as well, that it's very important, the way it looks and the style you choose and the colour it is and all those kind of things. I think people are always quite shocked about my hair. Not shocked maybe in a good way, but they always say, oh, it's short. You know, like, yeah, it is. And we kind of have a conversation about it quite a lot. And they'll always say, oh, it would never suit me. It really suits you, but it would never suit me. I think that they probably don't like it. I think secretly everyone would prefer me to have long hair because that would be what a girl should have. And a couple of times, like, you know, I've been in a shop or I've been in a cafe or something and someone says, oh, sir, I mean madam. And I find that really interesting. And I always wonder whether it's because I've got short hair or the people see me from the back and think, oh, it's not a woman or something. It's very weird. I only cut it about 4 years ago, I think, because my hair's quite fine, so I thought, oh, I want to go for something that looks quite stylish all the time. I think my dad said that in a passing comment that it looked rat-taily. Good old dad. And I thought, oh yeah, I've got to do something different with it, so I cut it short. And then cutting it to this length was completely my own decision. No, I did. No, I felt really liberated. But people said I wouldn't. People said I would feel like it was a bad decision. But I didn't. I thought it was a great decision. And also I work in the arts, so I wanted to be a bit like kind of quirkier. It was about me having my own stamp on who I was and being quite bold about it and not being afraid about it. And I had hair loss at one stage, which is kind of also why I've kept cutting it short, because otherwise I just think it might look a bit thin. So I think I've told them about that and they kind of say, oh wow, that's probably the best decision. But I like the way it looks. I think sometimes, my mum used to have short hair when she was my age, so I think she gets it. And if I had lots and lots of hair, I would love to have really long hair, but I don't. So I make it work my way. I'm thinking a lot about my friends. I just went on a holiday with a couple of my girlfriends, and the amount of time we spent faffing about hair. I mean, it was like, it must be at least 40 hours across the whole trip of them just messing around with their hair. And I'd be like, can we just go? You know, they spend hours like straightening it. I'm like, oh, I can't go out, my hair looks a mess. And I'm like, just leave, just leave. You know, your hair is actually becoming an obstacle to you living your life now. So you need to like make a decision about that. It just drove me absolutely mad. I think maybe that's why I like it short, because I just like to, okay, I've got a style, it's easy, let's go. Let's go and do what we're meant to do with our lives. It's not just sit here worrying about whether our hair is curly or straight. So boring. I want to be feminine. I don't know why I want to appear that way. I don't know why it stresses me out so much. But there's an emotional sense to it, definitely. It's like someone's attacking your choice or your identity or your freedom of expression to say that you shouldn't or you should have short hair. I think I feel like I need to challenge them on what they think their perception of beauty might be or attractiveness. And I think it's also within me, because I assume that people would think that your traditional image of beauty or being a woman would be to have long, flowy hair, you know, Venus kind of Botticelli-esque, flowing, curly, beautiful blonde hair normally. And also, you know, Disney and films, you always really have long hair. I can't think of a heroine who has short hair. Oh, when Anne Hathaway cut her hair short for Les Mis, people were like, oh, will she grow it back? I hope she does. Like, why? Why do you hope she has long hair? It's weird. It's really weird. So I feel like when people ask me that, what they're saying is, you don't look like I think I want you to look. And that annoys me. And I do a lot of dating at the moment. And one of the first questions people ask me is, why is your hair short? Which I think is really interesting. Like, well, why shouldn't it be? Why is your hair short? Is my retort. But I think that's really interesting. Well, why is that the first thing that you might say to someone? That suggests to me that me having short hair is quite unusual for a woman, which I think is crazy. And then you go on the date and then they'll probably say something like, so when did you last have long hair? And then you kind of explain when you had it cut and like the story behind it, because there's always a story behind it. And then they just kind of say, oh right, I'd like to see you with long hair. That happens a lot. And I go, well, you're not going to, so get over it. That's about it, really. I don't know whether I would say no to someone who had a different type of hair, but there was a guy in this club I went to last night who had pigtails, and I would say I'd probably draw the line at that. Because it just looked a little bit, and he had it in plaits. I thought cool, and I was like, oh yeah, that looks cool, and then I thought, but I don't know whether that makes you more or less attractive. I think slightly less, just because it was unusual. That's really interesting. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah. But I mean, I don't mind so much. I don't mind hair colour. I don't really mind. I think the most important thing is that someone takes pride in their appearance, or, you know, washes and stuff. You know, people wash their hair and look after themselves. I think that's attractive. It doesn't really matter what colour or shape it is. But yeah, pigtails, maybe not. It's a bit weird. I was in a 9-year relationship, and I can't remember whether he had any preference. I think occasionally, a couple of times, he mentioned it was nice my hair was long, but I'm a bit independent. I just go and do it. I don't really care what other people think as much. I wouldn't let what someone thought stop the way that I would react or the way that I would live my life. And then he was always very supportive, so it was never an issue. Had a scar. I've got a scar on my head, so that's why I sweep it that way. But it's not an emotional thing. I think a lot of people would identify with the idea of, you know, when you finish a relationship or when you want a new start in your life, that you might cut your hair or dye your hair. And I dyed my hair last week, and that was because I thought I should start making an effort. Because, yeah, I thought I'd get more luck if I dyed my hair, because I'm getting greys. And that's a whole other story. When your age shows through your hair. I used to dye my hair when I didn't have grey hair at all, just for fun. So I think I'll go back to that for a bit. But I would never it feels quite harsh to permanently dye my hair. It's like only a semi-permanent. So I think I'm not fully committed to covering the grey. I think it's like just a temporary kind of, I just make it a nice colour for a bit. But maybe I would let it become grey. Grey is quite in right now. It's weird. There's this whole thing about colouring your hair grey. It looks quite cool. Maybe I'll do that one day. But that's interesting. Why would you want to permanently have grey hair? Don't know. I just like being pampered. I like going in and having a cup of tea, and I do like people touching my hair. So I just kind of sit there, zen-like, while they do whatever they're doing. I quite like watching them as well. It's very creative what people do with hair. So I quite like. So I think I like going all the time. I go as often as I possibly can. But definitely once every 6 weeks. I can't think of a specific experience. Probably when I got a really good head massage. That's nice. My mum said to me when because my hair was falling out, and it was really, really upsetting. And I remember calling her in the street and being really upset, really, really upset. And she said, Kate, you're so much more than your hair. You're so much more than that. And I thought that was a really interesting comment. I think it's true about beauty and hair in general. There's so much more about you that kind of shines out of you. Why would you worry so much about if a hair is in place, or the colour it is, or what your skin looks like? And when I look at my friends, I think what frustrates me about the time they spend looking after their hair is that they're so much more than that. And whether their hair's straight or curly doesn't affect the way I see them, doesn't affect how beautiful they are. So I think understanding that is really important for young women, I think.